Hello YouTube, I'm the Foam Witch, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this Galactus helmet from the, at time of recording, new Fantastic Four movie. There are templates available for free in the description of this video, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you could do that now, that would be incredible. So, let's do this. These are all the pieces for the template that I'm giving away for free, so you can build this for yourself. Starting with this piece that's going to make the flat top of the helmet. With most of these template pieces, you're going to have to flip it over to give the other side of the piece. Then moving on to this piece, and the bottom section of this needs to be cut with an outward bevel. Most of these pieces are cut out of 5mm, there is one piece out of 10, but I'll show you that when we get to it. This triangle part gets stuck to the front of the flat base, just like this. Next are these two long pieces. From the top edge of this piece to the line marked here needs to be cut with an inward bevel cut, the rest is a straight cut. This then gets stuck to the piece from earlier, with the flat edge being stuck slightly higher than the base to give it some depth. Next is this piece that makes the front and a bit of the sides, and again, just to confirm, the pieces of the template need flipping to give one full piece, sticking this onto the front of the triangle and around the back of the circle. Next is this large square piece, which is going to give the back of the helmet, and this is the piece that got cut out of 10mm foam. It also got heated with the heat gun and given a curve. When sticking this piece down, this also got stuck higher than the layers below, just to give some more depth. This is how it looks once it gets stuck down. This is actually from later in the build. I forgot to film it when I actually stuck it down, so this is why there's a bit of detail already added, but we'll get to that. Next is this piece that's going to make the front. And once the two pieces were stuck together, doesn't anyone else think this looks a little bit like Batman? These next two pieces, once stuck together, are going to give the curved shape that sticks out from the front of the helmet. These need a mix of inward and outward bevel cuts. Everything is marked on the template. These pieces needed an inward bevel that was even more angled than my knife could cut, so I just took my Dremel and sanded back those edges. Once stuck together, these pieces give a very angled curved piece. Next is this section that gets stuck to the top of the curved piece, which then gets stuck on like this to the front piece, which then gets stuck onto the sides. If you aren't confused already, it's about to get a little more confusing with some more strange shapes. Taking this part of the template to give a shape like this. This gets stuck in the gap between the top of the helmet and that curved piece detail. Don't worry about your build being messy, because look at the state of this thing. Next up is this piece for the jaw, and remember that there are two of these, one on each side. Next are these two pieces for the lower jaw, and when they are stuck on, they should look something like this. That was quite a quick description of how to make the base. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Once the base had been built, I really wasn't happy with this. There were bits that were wonky, it was a really big mess. I just thought it looked terrible, so I did contemplate throwing it in the bin. However, I had a little word with myself, I told myself to trust the process, and honestly, there's nothing that a Dremel can't fix. I spent some time sanding down all the edges and smoothing some of the seam lines, and once that had happened, I was actually a lot more happy with it. Also, most of the messy parts were going to be hidden once all of the details had been added, so I just kept going and I'm so happy that I did. Then it was time to start adding all of those details. For most of it, I used different sizes of half foam dowels. Those foam dowels, along with all the foam used and the hot glue and the flexi paint, all come from the incredible Tigers supplies. They have the best cosplay materials around. Make sure you go and check them out to make all your crafting dreams come true. To make the round details that are on the sides of this helmet, I literally have no idea what they're called, I'm sorry. I took some pieces of full foam dowel, sanded them within an inch of their life so they were domed, added a strip of foam around the bottom, used the Dremel sanding barrel attachment to drill in some circle detail in the middle. Then, one got stuck on either side of the jaw area. There's also two of these near the temple area, but they will get stuck on in a little bit. I then stuck on some thinner foam dowel on the chin area. And some more on the eyebrow area, like this. I have had this lined textured foam from Tige Supplies for ages, but not actually used it on a project, but for this it was absolutely perfect. All of these detail pieces are not on the template because you can add as much or as little detail as you want. As you can see here, I then added some more detail to the forehead area, and there are the 2 extra circled side details that I mentioned earlier. I then traced out where I wanted the detail to go on the top of the helmet. I used masking tape to get the correct shape that I'd just traced and then added this to paper for the templates. Cutting these out of that lined textured foam and adding another triangle piece above that. This piece of the template was then used to make the wing details that go on the side. I think that's what I'm going to call them, wings. Again, I marked out where I wanted the layers to go, used masking tape to get the shape, transferring it onto paper. Both of these need cutting out 4 times for front and back on either side. These were 5mm foam and these were the textured lined foam, which is 3mm. And they get stuck on like this, and get stuck on the front and the back. Using these parts of the template, the what I'm going to call ear cups were then made. Cutting each part out twice, they got heated with the heat gun so that when stuck together they were fully round. These parts need tops, so in order to get them the right size, just draw around the top of the circle onto foam and cut these out. Once the top has been added and it's been sanded, they should look like this. There is a larger and a smaller one. The smaller one getting stuck in this area, and the larger one stuck underneath that. 2 of these circle pieces were then cut out of 10mm foam, and after a lot of sanding to round off the edges, they get stuck at the ends of the ear cups. This is how the wings looked once everything was attached and they now needed sticking to the helmet. To help these stick flat to the helmet, some of the 10mm foam at the back got sanded away to make sure they were going to stick on straight. They then got stuck on either side, and as you can see, there's still a little bit of a gap between the wing and the base. To fill this gap, I cut some bits of foam and sanded them into a wedge shape. These then got stuck in and filled that gap perfectly. To make the final circle details at the top, are we calling them gears? I literally don't know. I took some foam dowel, making sure that the edge was very angled, sticking one on either side, like so. 2 layers of foam in a shape like this then got added on top, with a 3rd layer of 3mm foam on top of both of those, which should look something like this. A circle detail also got drilled in with the Dremel in the middle. At the back of the helmet, I again used some half foam dowels and some strips of foam and just stuck them on in a pattern that I thought looked good. Once I was happy with all of the detail, the build of the helmet was complete and it was now time to start sealing. To seal the foam ready for painting, I used my favourite sealer, which is black flexi paint from the incredible Tige Supplies. This got brushed on by hand and I used, I think it was 4 layers. This is how it looked once the flexi paint was fully dry and it was ready to start painting. For this helmet, I used this folk art metallic paint in prune. This paint got thinned down with water and sprayed through my airbrush, and I used 4 layers. This is how it looked once the purple paint had dried, and I actually think this colour is really great. Although this purple colour is great, it did look a little bit flat, so I wanted to add some contrast. I took some dark metallic blue paint, thinned it down with some water, painted it on the edges, and then feathered that out with a dry brush. This is quite a subtle way of shading, but it adds this tarnished metal effect to the helmet, and it just makes the colour pop a little. Once I'd done the shading around the whole helmet, the painting was finished and the Galactus helmet was complete. I'm genuinely so thrilled with how this helmet turned out. Considering I was going to throw it in the bin near the start, I'm really happy with it. If you are still watching this video, I want to give you a massive huge thank you, and if you have liked it, if you could thumbs up it, that would be awesome. If you like crafting content like this and would like to subscribe to my channel and haven't done so already, if you could do that now, that would be incredible. If you use this template to make one for yourself, I'd love to see pictures if you leave them in the community tab of my channel. Huge thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. So really exciting news, I got my first channel membership. Channel memberships are a very small monthly subscription, with all proceeds going to help my channel and the content I create. I want to give a massive huge thank you to my very first channel membership, because your support means the world. Going forward, channel members will get early release to my videos, which also means you get the templates before anyone else. So huge thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.